Hey everyone, Jesse here, and we're going to go over a few things in regards to numbers, okay? Numbers and business. So we're going to go through like a mock business plan just for a little bit, okay? I'm going to start this new Facebook Live series. It's going to just revolve around numbers, okay? And before you switch off too soon, know that numbers are a part of everything that you do on a daily basis, whether it's your business, whether it's personal, whether it's finances, whether it's health, doesn't matter. Numbers are going to be a big part of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, okay? So we're going to dive into some numbers here, and just keep in mind, it's already the first week in February, right? So your 2018 goals, you're already 1 month in, especially if you're in real estate. These are my people I'm talking to, my real estate agents, my teams, my brokers, everybody. So we're going to be diving into some business planning here because we want to make sure on a monthly basis you are accountable to your business goals, and one, to make sure that your business goals are actually mapped out correctly, at least on a very high level standpoint, okay? So bear with me. And numbers, like I said, are integral parts of your business. They're part of your life. And you know, I've heard for years that I'm not a numbers person. I'm not a numbers person. Well, you got to get over it, because numbers are a part of your life. They're a part of your business. They're a part of your everyday being, right? Like I said, whether it's your business, your finances, your health, your wealth, your relationships, numbers have to do with every aspect of your life. So numbers are going to be important, and whether you like them or not, they don't care. Your numbers do not care, okay? So you have to appreciate, respect, and understand numbers if you want to be successful in anything that you want to do, right? Did you hear that? You have to appreciate, respect, and understand numbers regardless if you like them or not, because they don't like you. They don't care. They're going to show you the truth. And that's exactly what I love about numbers. You can't hide from it. You can't BS it. They're going to show you exactly what's working, what's not. And if you look at it, if you want to get out of debt, or if you've ever tried to get out of debt, you have to watch your numbers. You have to see where money's coming in, where money's going out. If you want to lose weight, you got to see how many calories are coming in, how many calories are going out. If you want to increase your business, you got to see what's working. How much money's coming in, how much money's going out, how much in sales is coming in, how much in expenses is going out. So we're going to walk through this, and numbers are going to be a huge part of what you're going to be doing. And again, I'm going to be doing consistently, and I would love your feedback. I would love to hear what you want to talk about in regards to numbers in your business, in your life, no matter what. I'm going to focus this around business, but we can talk about it. Numbers, you should not be scared of them. You should not be afraid of them. And most people, especially business owners and real estate agents, don't like them because they tell them the truth. They don't want to be told what they're not doing. They don't want to be told that they could be working harder or working better or making more money. Of course, everybody wants it, but nobody's willing to do what it takes, or not a lot of people are willing to do what it takes. They want it just to end up on their lap. So we're going to go through a mock, just really quick business plan that I've done with many team members over the past few years. So if you're in real estate, or even in any business, you can use this model the same way in any business. You got to break it down. I call it reverse engineering, okay? We're going to reverse engineer this and make it happen to where you can see it as an attainable goal in bite-sized pieces, okay? So here's the thing, and this is where most real estate agents, especially that I've coached or that I've worked with, this is where they go wrong. And a lot of people go, I want to make $100,000, right? I want to make 100 grand. That's great. How are you going to do that? And what does that include, right? You're going to throw out a goal. I want to make 100 grand. I want to make $1 million. I want to make 500,000. I want to make 50,000. No, it doesn't matter what it is. You want to set out a goal. And when you look at 100 grand, you got to look at that and go, in real estate, does that mean 100,000 in commission? What does that mean? Okay, so when we break this down, open up my trusty calculator. So there's that one thing that most people don't budget. And what is it? Taxes. Most people don't budget for taxes, especially in the real estate industry. We're 1099. We're not W-2. and we're not getting taxes taken out of every check we get. So be mindful of that. So even if we did, say, a 25% tax bracket, right? And it's coming up to tax time. So if you're in real estate, I hope you have budgeted and saved in a separate account for taxes. If you're not, you're going to work your ass off a lot this year to pay for both years' taxes. I learned that in my first year in the business, okay? So if you look at, you want to make 100 grand. Let's tack on some more stuff to that, okay? So if you look at even a 25% tax bracket, even though you might look at it and go, oh, that's probably about $25,000 in taxes, right? Wrong. Okay, we got to reverse engineer that stuff. So if you take $100,000 and reverse engineer that to, say, 25% on top of that, you're going to look at about $33,000 in taxes. Okay, $33K. Okay, and this is take home. This is what you want to net. So let's look at that. Next, now let's go look at it and say, well, I do have other business expenses, right? If you're part of a brokerage, you're going to have a split or a flat fee or a cap or a wrap or this and that. So let's just, for example, let's just use, say, let's use a $20,000. Let's just call that broker expenses. Okay? So now we want to make $100,000 net. We know we're going to probably pay close to about $33,000 in taxes. At least we want to budget for that. And then we have about $20,000 in broker expenses just to be part of the brokerage. Right? We're not talking other fees. So let's just say that you have to still pay to be a real estate agent. You got to pay for your business. You're going to pay for your CRMs, your MLS dues, your super key, anything that you want on top of all this. So let's just say that you're going to probably drop another, I don't know, let's just say $10K on business expenses. So we got that. Okay? So now we add all this up. Okay? So let's just go here. I want to make sure it's right. I don't want to stall you guys by trying to do this math in my head. But let's just say now we know we want to net 100 grand. We got to pay 33 grand in taxes. We're going to have about $20,000 in broker expenses and $10,000 in business expenses roughly. Now for everybody watching this who is not a real estate agent, maybe a consumer, a buyer, seller, and they're wondering why agents get paid so much. Well, that 6% commission or the 3% commission, whatever that is, wow, that's a lot to get paid. But you also got to consider from a consumer standpoint, this is all the other stuff that we have to take into consideration too. So just battling for my people here and justifying why they get paid what they get paid. So when you look at this, you're looking at what, 133, 153, 163. Okay? So if we look at $163,000, we're going to look at just GCI. That's what we call GCI. This is how we reverse engineer this, okay? So this is what we want to net. This is the magic number, right? You want to net 100 grand. That's how much money you want to take home to pay your bills, pay your family, invest, whatever the case may be. But you got to take these into consideration as well. So now that you've done that, you look at this and go, well, okay, I got to make $163,000 in gross commission income. Okay? So I got to make that in gross commission income, roughly, okay? Now we're going to take other things into consideration as well. Now there's other things that are going to be, obviously, could go in here, different broker expenses, different transactional expenses, different business expenses, different tax rates, whatever the case may be. So now that you look at this, now you go, okay, well, now that I know it's kind of what I want to do from a GCI standpoint, now you reverse engineer that to, okay, now at $163,000 GCI, what does that break down to from a commission standpoint? So let's say your average sales price where you're at is, say, $350,000. Let's just say that's an average sale for you. Let's say that your average sale is a 2.75% commission. Okay, so 2.75% commission. And let's say that's, say, roughly, to make math simple, let's say that's a $10,000 GCI, right? GCI commission check. So now we have that. GCI commission check, GCI total GCI. So now you break this down and you go, out of $163,000 GCI, $163,000 GCI, and divided by an average commission for me is about $10,000 GCI. What does that tell you? To hit this at this price point, I roughly have to do about, let's see, that's simple math, 16.3 closed transactions per year. Okay, so you have to do roughly what, 1.25 per month. So now that you've done this and you've reverse engineered this, you've dropped this down, and you can see, great, here's my target. And you always want to round up because you're not going to close probably 16 on the dot. You're probably going to close more, you're going to close less. So you want to bring that into this. So now that you've done that, you could even reverse engineer it even further. Okay? You can say, well, to get this many transactions per month, how many transactions and this is closed. Now, if you're in real estate, does every transaction that you put into escrow close? No. Does every buyer you meet turn into a sale? No. Does every listing appointment you go on turn into a listing? No. So we would like it to. So if you look at this and you go, well, if I can do 16.3 deals per year divided by 12, that's about let's say 1.5 deals a month. So if I'm going to do 1.5 deals a month, and if my average conversion ratio, on a buyer seller, let's just say even 60%. Let's just use a crappy conversion ratio. And let's say to get 1.5 deals per month closed, you're going to have to put in to escrow roughly about 3 to 4 per month. Okay, so you got to put in 3 to 4 per month. So you're going to be doing about 3, so you got to put about 36, between 24 to 36 transactions just into escrow for roughly 16 to 20 of them to close at this average price point, at this average commission rate, at this average GCI to hit this goal. Right? Now there's a lot of variables in here that you can adjust and you can shift, but from a basic, easy one-page business plan in less than, 8 minutes or so, this is one thing that you can do to keep track of your numbers and make sure that you are on point. Okay? And this is where a lot of people in our industry and business, they fail at this because they don't break it down. They just go, I want to make 100 grand. Great. Then they go out and they make 100 grand. They don't know what they're going to do with it, or they don't know why they made 100 grand, but they're still broke. But they're confusing net and GCI. Two big mistakes. Do not confuse net and GCI. Those are two different numbers. Make your goal around net. Okay? Make your goal around net. And you can reverse engineer this into a simple number to go, great, I got to do 16.3 deals per year at an average 350, 2.75 commission rate to hit my goal. Now, this is where knowing your numbers and monitoring your business consistently, not once a quarter, not once a year, all the time. You want to monitor this information because then at that point you can make tweaks. You can say, well, my average purchase price is $400 now, but my average commission is 2.5, and I'm off pace for my goal for this year. What can I do to increase that? And where can I add fuel to the fire? Where am I slowing down? Where am I lacking? What do I need to adjust in my business? What are my main sources of business? Where are we spending the most money? Is that working? Right? If I'm dumping $10,000 into Facebook ads and it's been 6 to 12 months and I haven't got any of that return or very little, I may divert and change my marketing and my marketing and advertising plan into something else. Right? So you have to monitor that information. So on a real quick level, this is numbers. You have to love them. You have to appreciate them. You don't have to like them, but they're going to tell you the truth in your business and what you're doing, okay? So don't want to sound too preachy, but numbers are going to get you where you want to go. They're easy to hold you accountable. They're easy to make sure that you're on the right track, okay? So again, break down your business this way. Reverse engineer your business this way. We're only 1 month into 2018. January's gone. And if you're in real estate right now, you know darn well it's going to take 30, 60, 90 days just to even get back on that train and get that momentum going if you kind of let off the gas during the holidays. Okay? So keep that momentum going. We can reverse engineer this even further down to how many contacts you have to make on a daily basis using basic conversion ratios, or if you know your conversion ratios. if you're tracking how many contacts you're making, how many appointments you're going on, how many open houses you're doing. Doesn't matter. You can take all of that data and put it into a simple business plan. Okay? So, guys, I would love your feedback. Let me know what you would like me to break down from a number standpoint for you next time. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of these again. This is going to be a number series on Facebook Live, and it's going to be numbers. It's going to be driven around numbers, and we can do this with business, which I prefer. We can do it with health, fitness, finances, relationships. In relationships, I've had people go, what do you mean numbers has to do with relationships? Time. Time is a number, right? Learn to appreciate, respect, and understand your numbers, because I guarantee you, if you understand them at a higher level, you will do a lot more in your business. You'll achieve a lot more in your personal life, your relationships, finances, everything that I've already mentioned. Stop the excuse, I'm not a numbers person. You have to be a numbers person. Everybody's a numbers person. Everything going on in this world has to do with numbers. You have to be a numbers person. If you're familiar with the DISC and all this other stuff, I'm a high D, right? I've been told for the last 9 years that I'm not a numbers person. I am a numbers person. I love numbers because they tell me what I need to know. They tell me where I'm failing. They tell me where I'm succeeding. They tell me how to improve. They tell me what not to focus on anymore. I am a numbers person. You have to be a numbers person. And does that mean that you have to, bust out a whiteboard and go Goodwill Hunting on a whiteboard and break down all these crazy math equations? And no, but you have to understand the basics of numbers and how to reverse engineer something into a simple equation that makes a goal. It chunks down the goal into bite-sized pieces, so it's a little bit easier attainable. It's easily attainable, at least in the mind. So this is one thing that I highly suggest everybody does. Pick your goal. If you are in real estate, make sure that please set your goal to net and reverse engineer it. I know so many people that set their goal to GCI, and at the end of the year, they're going, I hit my goal. And then they're wondering why they're still broke. Because they didn't take into consideration the taxes, the broker expenses, the business expenses. They just focused on that one number, and they didn't budget for taxes. Can you imagine making $100,000 GCI and then and you making $100,000 GCI from this standpoint and going, I got to pay $33,000 or $15,000 to $20,000 to $25,000 in taxes, and you don't have that in your account. That's happening to so many people right now, and it's disturbing. It's happening to so many people in the real estate profession and in any sales profession that's 1099. It comes tax time, which we are in right now, and they're going to go visit their CPA, and it's going to be shitty. It's going to suck because their CPA is going to say, here's how much money you owe in taxes, which is great because if you owe taxes, it means you made money. But did you save it and allocate those funds to be able to go and pay those taxes so you can stay in business the next year? Okay? So I don't want to come off all negative and preachy, but it's the truth. So make sure that you're saving the money for taxes and you're allocating your money for taxes and reinvesting back in your business. You have to hold those dollars accountable. You have to see what's working, what's not. If I'm going to invest money here, I have to make sure that I know that I'm getting a return on that. I have to set a deadline. Right? If I'm going to invest $10,000 here, how much time am I going to give that money to see a return? Right? So everybody, please break down your numbers. Hit me up. Shoot me a message on Facebook. Text me if you got my number. Call me. I'll be happy to walk you through this and at least get you going on a simple one-page platform. Right? My goal, my mission is for you to not really love numbers. You don't have to love them, but you have to respect them. You have to understand them if you want to succeed in business. You go on Shark Tank, you watch Shark Tank, and what do they say? Where are your numbers? What are your numbers? That's what they look at, right? They're going to look at the numbers. Do your numbers back what you're saying? Know your numbers, respect your numbers, appreciate your numbers. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, I respect you, and I'm hoping that we can get everybody wrapped around this whole numbers thing and increase your business, increase your sales, decrease debt, increase your fitness, increase your health, whatever it is. Use numbers for the good and stop looking at them as a negative. They will help you as long as you embrace it. All right, guys, I am out. Thank you again. This is Numbers with Jesse, and I will be back. Bye.